Wow. This has been, I knew this was going to be emotional, but it's far more. First, thank you all for coming, and I always know that my success really all comes from first having the farm in Southampton, opening a store in Southampton, and the community that supported me and stood behind me through all the ups and the downs. If it weren't for all those three things, and of course including my parents, none of this would have been possible, and my store and my success would have never happened. So thank you. Always start from your roots. In life, we get off track. Sometimes we derail and forget where we came from. In my world, sometimes a recipe would get off track, and we couldn't even remember what it once was. I always told my staff, go back to the root, bring me the first recipe, and we were able to bring it back to its original deliciousness. It's easy to get off track in life, but when you have roots and foundation to go back to, you will never really be that far off course. I remember my brother talking about the Peconic Land Trust way back when the only vision I had in my head was sugar and chocolate chips. I understood kinda what they were trying to do, but to my eyes, there was so much land. At the time, I took it all for granted. All the natural beauty, all the open space, all the beautiful land. It was what I grew up in. My world was sugar, and I certainly didn't know things were going to change our gorgeous landscape. As my sugar mountain grew and the natural beauty and open space decreased, I knew it was time to do something. I still didn't participate in the land trust until John Halsey called and asked for a donation of desserts at one of the events, actually the one right here at Whitecap Farm. They were doing a family-style event, and I said, okay, but can I get tickets to come? I've never been. And he said, okay. And he now gave me tickets for my husband and my parents. Now that I have been on the committee, I know the tickets he gave me cost more than I donated. After that event, I was in. I love the Land Trust for who they were, what they did, and how they presented themselves. They were the real deal. Slowly, I gave money when I could. As the business grew, I gave more. In the big picture, I just give money. And I love the land. I'm here today to accept this award, not because I can write a check. So many in this area are capable of doing that. I want to accept this award on behalf of the best generation farmers. I want to accept this award for my dad, Tate King, for Ray Halsey, for Henry Krasuski, for Remy Wesnowski, for Peter and Paul Corwith, for John White, for Tom Conklin, for Tom and John Halsey, for Tom White Sr., for Charlton Halsey, for Cliff Foster, for Gurdon Lodlow, for Richard Fowler, and so many more. The real heroes, the salt of the earth people that helped our land and made this area what it is. It is not gigantic mansions that made the Hamptons. It's the farms, it's the produce, it's the flowers, it's the fresh eggs, it's our beaches, it's the light. This is what makes the Hamptons. I know what a farmer goes through, seeing it firsthand, the anxiety and the stress over bad weather that we just take in stride, except that it ruined our beach day or ruined our party. I'm guilty of it too, trust me. What do you mean I can't ride my bike? In my smallness and my frustration, I go back to my roots and I say, sucks that it's gonna rain on my party, but the farmers need it. Or it's too much rain, and what's Hank gonna do if his strawberries rot? Or no rain, and everything burns up. The farmer has to wait for nature to care for what it's done. Imagine those who have worked at desks, or in corporate, working on a project all year, knowing in the end will yield your bonus that you will live on for the next year. Now imagine housekeeping coming in and shredding and deleted everything you've done. Imagine waking up and knowing you have to start from the very beginning, and there are no shortcuts, and there is nothing half done already. Sorry. You must start from the very beginning and hope that this year will be better, and you will have no bonus. That is what being a farmer is like. That is what a farmer's work is like. That's the risks that they live with every season. When you think nothing about paying $20 for a crap glass of wine, you want to ask yourself, when you go to the farmer's markets and spend money on produce that appears expensive, remember what a farmer has gone through. They don't just plant seeds and have bushels of beans and vegetables jump into baskets for free. Have you ever picked raspberries? We all know raspberries are expensive and delightful, but have you ever picked them? Have you ever experienced how long it takes to fill a half pint? It takes a long time, not counting the few you're going to eat in the field. Green beans, pick a bushel of them. It takes forever. Out in the hot sun, picking, more, picking. And it rarely fills up. And then someone comes along and complains they're too expensive. Dad always said, Kathleen, never forget where you came from. Every time I climbed the ladder just a little bit, he would be very proud, but in his Farmer King way, he'd say, yep, don't ever forget where you came from. It's been a wonderful reminder, and I come from a lovely place, so I didn't want to forget. Those of us that wake up in this area are the richest. Not because we drive fancy cars and come to special events and wear clothes that are sometimes a full paycheck. We are the richest because we wake up with clean air. We wake up with food in the ground. We wake up in open space where we can find solitude. We wake up with clean water. We wake up in beauty. We are all the richest people in the land. When you go to a farm stand, I know it's expensive. It's cheaper in supermarkets, it's cheaper in Costco. But if you want to support the land trust, support farm stands. Spend a little more money. Know where your food comes from. No farmer has gotten rich off his farm stand. Farmers appear to be rich because land values went up. They don't shout for glee, taxes punish them, and inheritance tax it makes so families cannot carry on. They don't want to sell their land. It's like me asking you if you want to sell what you love most. They are land rich, a commodity. They never want to turn into cash. The ones that sell do it because they have to. I give money, I verbally support the land trust, I tell people about it. But the heroes are our farmers that work day and night, our past and our present. Let all of us contribute whatever we can to the trust, whether it's financial, or telling your friends about the Peconic Land Trust, or explaining why you should spend more money at the farm stands so that these gorgeous farms are kept alive and our space remains. Keep a lookout for the beautiful places. Keep a lookout for the signs that say Peconic Land Trust. Keep a lookout and know that those hardworking people that make it happen and the generous people that contribute are the ones responsible for keeping the space the way it is, that you enjoy every day. Don't take it for granted. Nothing is forever. People need to come together and work in any way they can. I grew up in a hard-working farming family, watching Dad work 7 days a week. The only time I never saw him work 7 days a week was when he couldn't. My mother was a woman who wanted nothing but family, friends, and a good party. Dad used to say that we are the richest people in Southampton. I would say, why do you say that? We don't have any money. He would say, we are the richest in family, friends, and spirit. You will never go hungry because we raise our own food. Thank you.